Yo, welcome to Buck Up Brew, presented by the Fer Coffee Tea. Sorry about that intro, but we got things situated here. But I'm your host, of course, Andy Denardo. With me, we have Jim Rosati, as always, except this time, Jim, we are live from the Fer Coffee and Tea. Jim, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Memorial Day Monday. So, yeah, got the day off after a nice long weekend here in Pittsburgh. Hell of a weekend.
It was. I mean, I attended 2 games. You're at 3. They won both the games I was at. That's all I'm going to say. When I was there, they won.
You were at all 2 wins. I was at 2 or 3 wins. The Rosati curse is not a thing.
It is. When I'm not there,
it's been broken. But no, it was a lot of fun this weekend. I need to actually say, like, the tailgate Saturday was awesome. I was trying to count like how many states were represented at that tailgate. And so the fact that like so many people came from kind of all over the place to come out and hang out was really cool. So if you came out to the tailgate, shout out. That was awesome. I mean, there was we probably had 200 people run through that thing at some point throughout the day. But there were people from Virginia, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky. Someone flew in from California, Florida. Like it was really cool.
Yeah, it was a great time. And again, Rainy Brothers sandwiches, had tons of food, tons of fun, went to the ball game, and had an interesting ball game as well, where the Pirates won. And Oneil Cruz was hitting home runs all weekend. He's back. I'm excited. The pitching looked really, really strong. And again, it's the Brewers. It was a tougher team. So, I mean, they split the series. Can't ask for too much. But yeah, like I said, both games that we were there, obviously we were there Friday with that adventurous game and the walk-off wild pitch. And it's Saturday, nice game that we all attended. And then yesterday, when you guys were there, it wasn't a win. But again, like Oneil Cruz hitting, I didn't get to talk about this. I didn't really get to watch the post game, but Oneil Cruz hitting the hardest home run ever. I mean, I saw that on replay and like, holy hell.
Well, on Friday night, he hit his hardest home run that he's ever hit.
Right.
And then Sunday, it's the hardest ball ever. So yeah, that was impressive. He had a really, really good series outside the really bad throw that he had in the first inning of yesterday's game. I thought Oneil Cruz had a really good series because you did need him to heat up a little bit. He started off the season so hot and then cooled off a little bit this month. The injury played a little bit of a part in that. But this weekend, I mean, he was a huge factor in the Pirates' 2 wins.
Yes, he certainly was. And again, we got to see Paul Skeens go out there and shove. Saw Mitch Keller go out there and shove. Bailey Falter have the most impressive game. But again, like he did Bailey Falter stuff. Like he allowed the team to be in it and potentially win. So again, like pitching holding up. The offense was somewhat coming alive, right? So for what the series is.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, they went on, 26-game streak without scoring 5 runs. Right. They scored 5 runs 3 times in this series. So, yeah. I mean, offense is hopefully coming alive a little bit. But, yeah, yesterday was just the bullpen. I think the depth of the bullpen is a problem right now. And they just couldn't handle not having the back end part of that bullpen yesterday because you saw you had Sugar, Matson, Barucki, and Barucki just kind of was the one who didn't get the job done yesterday. So that sucked. Still get the series split, but you would have liked to come out with a win. You were in a position to win that series. Split's a split. You'll take it. But, yeah, a win would have been nice, especially now that you're going on the road now to face 2 tough teams on the West Coast.
Let me just ask you, because obviously this is like the first time we've been in the ballpark. How do you feel like the vibes were inside PNC Park for this series?
Not great. I mean, we were there Friday night. It was a fireworks night, and it was a Paul Skeens start.
Right.
Typically, when one of those things happen, you should sell out the stadium.
And the thing is, like fireworks night, no matter what's happening, that sells out.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a part of.
When it's fireworks night, it sells out.
I've seen some pretty bad Pirates teams in my life, and usually fireworks nights will still bring out at least 30,000 people.
Right.
And you had Paul Skeens plus fireworks on Friday, and you get 24,000 in attendance.
24.
So I mean, that just kind of goes to show you what people think of this team right now. They're not very happy with it. The weather wasn't great; like it was a little chilly, but it was hoodie weather. Like it was 50s. So it shouldn't have kept anybody away. But yeah, that was rough. You heard boos like when David Bednar, Renegade would come on. David Bednar walking in and they're booing David Bednar. Yeah, so I think fans are still pretty upset at this team, even despite the managerial change that happened. But yeah, it was rough. It was rough. I don't think people are very happy right now.
No, again, understand, but most of them got to see some dubs this weekend, so pretty cool. But I will do another thing too. Let's give a huge shout out. So again, like we were here for the weekend for the tailgate and everything. Obviously we talked to the Fer, see if we could do like one of our shows live. They're like, yeah, that's awesome, that's cool. So we're here right now. And of course about the Fer. The Fer is a family and employee-owned and operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of life's simplest and most accessible pleasures. And when enjoyed thoughtfully, can open your eyes to the here and now. They have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including their flagship in the heart of Pittsburgh Historic Strip District, where we are at right now. To learn more, check them out on the Instagram or head on over to the website at defer, DEFER.coffee. And hey, as we said, use code NS930. You get yourself 30% off your first purchase online.
Yeah, so if you're local, come here. If you're not local, go online. Promo code NS930, 30% off your coffee. Again, I've gotten coffee delivered to Louisville. It's great. Great coffee. Yeah.
Yep. I had coffee delivered to my parents.
There you go.
Yeah. When I came home, I didn't present it to them this way, but I'm going to out them right now. Yeah. When I came home, I saw Folgers, and I know Defer delivers on Fridays, so I ordered coffee, and I had some Defer yesterday before I came here, so it was well worth it.
Yeah, better than Folgers.
Better than Folgers.
Yeah, a definitely true statement.
Oh man, yeah. So again, we talked a little bit about the Brewers series here. I don't know if you really wanted to go any more into detail about that. I mean, what did you think about the series just in general? And again, I ask because like it is division, they are better. Pirates did split it.
I thought it was nice to see the offense wake up. Like that was a big piece. And Spencer Horwitz didn't have a great game on Sunday, but I do want to say a lot of this, I think he helps the team. Because before you just had Cruz, McCutchen, Reynolds, and then like Bart for a little bit that you're kind of
really have Reynolds though either.
Right. You didn't have Reynolds. So you're really just relying on Oneil Cruz to provide almost all of your offense. So adding Spencer Horwitz to the lineup, he hit his first homer this week. He's just giving you professional at bats now. It's nice to have him in there, and it's somebody you can just slot into that first base spot. Again, someone who you really want to make sure that he is who he is. Like if he's that guy who he was in Toronto last year, then you've solved your first base problem for the very foreseeable future. I mean, he's under team control for 6 more years. So like if you found your first baseman in Spencer Horwitz, that's a very good thing. Because we talk about things like what does success look like the rest of the year? Like this team's not going to the playoffs.
Right.
So like what you need to do though is you need to find some answers so that you can hopefully make the playoffs down the road. And if one of those answers is Spencer Horwitz is your first baseman for the next 5 years, then that's a good thing.
And you go to talk about the offense, it's absolutely correct because this team's starting for offense. They need that length. So it's like it's not just Oneil Cruz and Kutch that have to perform every single night to do it. So he adds another dimension. But I just want to go back to the defense as well. I mean, this guy has actually made some really good defensive plays at first. And honestly, I think for most of us, it's probably like, well, that's like a routine play for a first baseman. But when you're a Pirates fan, it looks like an amazing highlight because the routine stuff can't be done. How many picks he's made, how many throws he's made. So like the defense part of it as well has been very, very pleasant.
Yeah, I think he's been a big addition. Pitching wise, the starting staff still looks great. Skeen still looks great. It was nice to get Keller. At least like the team won a game with Keller. Keller's looking really good. You just hope that he can avoid like that second half collapse that he has the last couple of years. But Keller's been solid overall. You had Mike Burrows make his first major league start.
He did.
A little rough to start the game, but settled in a little bit. I would imagine he gets at least a couple other outings to show what he can do. Braxton Ashcraft maybe joining the mix on this road trip.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Taxi squad right now. No official move yet, but he is going to be traveling with the team to Arizona. So we might see Braxton Ashcraft's major league debut.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Now, of course, I think what's most interesting, if you were alluding to, is no Bubba. Well, why not Bubba? I don't know. That he's the guy. He's the prize. He's the. We talked about pitchers where if you're not going to manipulate service time, and I'm not alluding to it, but it's probably some manipulation here for Bubba. But like there's certain pitchers that like you don't really worry about service time. And I think Braxton Ashcraft is one of those. So like they don't really care. That doesn't really matter if he's here up now. They're going through those ones. I mean, you saw Harrington earlier. Now it's Ashcraft. Bubba's not coming up until Bubba needs to come up because that money and the years of control.
Yeah, I mean, so you've already passed the deadline to get the extra year.
Right.
The issue you're going to run into now with Bubba Chandler is if you call him up early enough, like he could win Rookie of the Year. If he wins Rookie of the Year, he earns a full year of service time, which screws the Pirates.
Right.
It's good for Bubba. It means he pitched really well, and he gets that as a reward. But the Pirates get screwed out of an extra year of Bubba Chandler by doing that. So they got to toe the line, I think, in when do you call him up? There's no reason why Bubba Chandler's not in the major leagues right now other than service time. Like, let's just be clear. He doesn't have to work on his curveball. Like, he's ready. He's one of the best 5 starting pitchers in this organization. He should be here. But yeah, you're probably teetering around the edge of the Super 2 deadline today. Like, it's probably like give or take a few days from today.
Right.
So if you're the Pirates and you want to make sure, you keep him down there a little bit longer. But it is
more importantly, I think what it really is, like you talked about, it's really the fact that like you could toe the line and have him up here, Super 2, not being worried about that.
Yeah.
But then you're worried that he's going to come up here and do what you think he might be able to do. And we discussed this earlier as well. Like the NL, as far as rookies go, isn't really that tough of a competition right now. You thought Rookie could run away with it. Dylan Cruz is a really good, pick as well. So like them two, they're starting the year off right in the majors also. So Bubba getting a delayed start, it's going to be tough for him to do it. But right now, they're terrible. I mean, they're really bad. There's other guys coming up and doing stuff that you don't expect to hold off for the whole year. So like Bubba could honestly come up in a week or two and still win Rookie of the Year. And like you said, at that point, he has a full year of control. Now the Pirates get a draft pick. And that's why you've been like saying this is kind of something they may want to explore and start doing. And like they did it with Jared Jones last year. Like we give credit to them. Like they did that with Jared Jones, more of a need. But you've already done it with Jared. Paul gained that extra year of control. So to have like the third pitcher do that as well, I think the Pirates are very, I don't want to say scared, but I think they're kind of scared that might happen.
I think they're definitely scared. Like that's the only reason why he's down. You can say what you want, but there's no other reason why Bubba Chandler's not on this team.
Right.
Other than I guess you could argue like the starting rotation isn't necessarily in need of help, but you also like Carmen Majinski started 10 games. Probably shouldn't have happened. This decision could have been made earlier. But it is interesting to me how like Thomas Harrington got a shot. Mike Burrows got a shot. Looks like Braxton Ashcraft's getting a shot. All of them are getting a shot before Bubba Chandler. So you're not going to tell me that any of those 3 guys are more major league ready than Bubba Chandler. It's the service time.
Ashcraft's curveball is perfect.
Right. Yeah, like Ashcraft has had
nothing to work on.
Ashcraft has actually had kind of a rough month. So
yeah,
it was kind of surprising to see him get called up. But yeah, I think we're all just waiting for Bubba Chandler to debut. And if you're the Pirates right now, where you're at, the only reason why he should be here is that he should be here. But if you're looking at it from the Pirates standpoint, do you call him up now and you risk him winning Rookie of the Year or getting top 2 Rookie of the Year, you lose that year of service time, or do you hold him until September? Now, if you hold him until September, I think the cries are going to get very, very loud because that's June, July, that's 3 months away. I don't know if they can even do that, honestly. Like, it's going to be very blatant manipulation at that point. But if you hold him until September, he doesn't exhaust his rookie eligibility this year. It means he's rookie eligible next year, which means if he starts on the team next year, and then he wins Rookie of the Year, then you get all the rewards that come with that, like an extra draft pick. So there are some pluses if you're the Pirates to be like, maybe we just wait this out.
Right.
But if you're Ben Cherington and you're hoping to save your job, you also have to kind of weigh that. Like, you've got to win some games here to end the year. And if Bubba Chandler gives you your best chance to do that, call him up.
Right. Now, I look at this on the other side too. And again, I understand that's probably the direction they're going, but it's like, what if you did call him up? what if this team had back-to-back rookie of the year pitchers? You know, like you want to talk about the pitching factory and like what they're known for. Like go out there and kind of prove that. Like we had Paul Skeens and we had Bubba Chandler come up here, both win rookie of the year back-to-back years. Like look at us. Like that's something you could also build upon and maybe market if you had the wherewithal to do so. But they probably don't. They're probably more worried about the service time and stuff. Which I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't. It's going to be interesting to find out and see what they do with Bubba. But he's a talent for sure. Change of direction here. So again, Milwaukee's in town. It's kind of some storylines to this. Jason Mackey did write an article about it way back, and it was before you were on here, but with just Ryan and I, when the old regime got let go, right? And they're trying to find a new GM and such. There's 3 candidates, one of them, of course, being Ben Cherington, who was hired. But there's another interesting one I think Ryan and I were really more on board with. That was Matt Arnold at the time. Matt Arnold obviously went to the Brewers. Well, Jim, are we kind of maybe finding out, as Mackey kind of wrote here, did the Pirates make the bad choice?
I don't know how you can argue that they didn't.
Argue it.
I think that's I wanted to kind of take some time here. And this was a great article from Jason Mackey. If you haven't read it yet, go to the Post-Gazette. This was column, I think it came out on Saturday. It was in yesterday's PG.
Yep.
But yeah, he basically just draws parallels. Like with the Brewers being in town, it's a good time to kind of reflect on this. You're 6 years into Ben Cherington. Obviously, you're not getting the results that you want. It basically came down to the final 2 candidates for that Pirates general manager job were Ben Cherington and Matt Arnold. Matt Arnold was with the Brewers at the time in an assistant role. He eventually gets elevated. He's now got the highest level in the baseball operations department in Milwaukee. But you look at the 2 teams, and they're very similar. I think these are 2 teams that you can compare and be completely fair with. I think the Brewers have the 28th largest media market in the majors, or the 29th or 30th, and the Pirates are 28th. They're right there towards the bottom.
Right.
Not a huge media market, small market team, limited resources, limited payroll. But you look at just the difference that those 2 franchises have gone on since that 2020 season when that decision was made. I mean, you look at the Brewers 2021. The Brewers have won the NL Central 3 times in the last 6 years. The Pirates have finished last every year, but all of them but one. Every year but one. And then they finished 4th in the 1 year that they didn't. So yeah, you look back and you're like, what if? What if this team would have hired Matt Arnold instead of Ben Cherington? Would we be having completely different conversations right now? Because Matt Arnold has clearly shown that he can operate and win with a team under the same restraints as the Pirates.
So I'll say this. I'll make one little argument. They're very comparable, except for ownership. Now, they have the same restrictions. They have the same excuses. But there is one ownership group that does invest a little bit more into the product, and there is one that just simply doesn't, right? So I feel Matt Arnold does have a little more help being in the Brewer system. If he were here, he probably doesn't have the same kind of help. But this is why, I really get, I'm not going to say upset. When I see the responses to comments of, well, it doesn't matter who the GM is. Why fire the coach? Why fire the GM? It doesn't matter. All comes to ownership. He's the only problem, Bob Nutty. And it's well, no. There's some guys that do better under the same circumstances, right? I mean, I go back to Cleveland all the time, because they're also very similar, what Cleveland's doing. But Milwaukee very similar as well in division. Matt Arnold's come in, take away the money part. Look at the drafting and developing. Look at the international. Look at the trades he's made. This isn't just giving Christian Yelich this contract, right? Or signing guys with big money like Reese Hoskins. Look at stuff internally that's happened. Very different. Very different. I don't like to go the whole what if thing, well, if that happened, all these things would happen. It would be very different. Honestly, like it or not, if Matt Arnold was here, chances are Paul Skeens probably isn't here. Now that's probably again a good thing because you're a better team, but also Paul Skeens here. This is me saying Ben Cherington's a good pick because they have Paul Skeens. I'm just saying that series of events would have led to different things as well. But I think the Pirates would have been in a much better situation. This is year 6. All the moves, all this stuff that happened in early parts to get this team to where it is, none of it's worked out.
Yeah, and I think that as far as you mentioned, like the payroll, for instance, like the Brewers' payroll is low, but it's not as low as the Pirates, right? It's sitting at 120 million right now.
We've been begging for 100 million.
Yeah, and like we want to get to that 100 million part. But last year 116, year before 126. They topped out at 138 and in 2022. So like that's where the Brewers have been. But you look at it. I'm not defending Bob Nutting here by any means, but I think it's pretty clear that the Pirates, the Pirates payroll follows how their attendance goes, right? And when you put a bad product on the field, people aren't going to show up to support it. So you're going to have low attendance. I think that plays a big role in this. Like the Brewers can spend more money than the Pirates because more people pay the Brewers money to watch the Brewers. I mean, last year the Brewers had 2.5 million people who came to their baseball games. The Pirates had 1.7. So that's an extra 800,000 people who are paying you over the course of the season. 1.6 the year before for the Pirates, 2.5. So like just in the matter of 2 years, what is that? 1.5, 1.7, 1.8 million more people have paid the Brewers money to go watch baseball than the Pirates. That means the Brewers can pay more money for players, which means they can put an even better product on the field. And I think this is the issue here where, like, when you put a bad product on the field like Ben Cherington has the last 6 years, no one wants to go to the games, which means you have less money coming in, which means you can't spend as much. That's just basic economics. And so you're just going to continue having these bad teams. You have to, at some point, have a good team. Right. And the Brewers were able to do that, and their fans responded by coming out to games and giving them money. And then the Brewers then responded by saying, "Oh, thanks for giving us your money. We're going to go spend it on a better team." So it's just like a self-reciprocating thing here. But no, I mean, you talk about just like the what ifs. Matt Arnold he's just hit on more stuff. Like that Contreras trade that he made with Atlanta, that 3-team deal.
How? At the time, we were like, how?
It was a steal.
How did that happen?
He got a steal. He gave up Estory Ruiz for one of the best catchers in baseball.
Right.
And now they're set with Contreras for 6 years, right? And so, like, just deals like that. Like, Ben Cherington hasn't had a deal remotely close to that in his entire 6 years. Not one. I think one thing you can give Ben credit for is he's kind of found some diamond in the rough starting pitchers to sign to 1-year deals. But those are 1-year deals. The rest of the team stinks. You just trade them at the deadline anyways. So it doesn't really do you any good. The Brewers are actually going out there. They're making their team better year in and year out. And it's not just the trades. Like I think the big reason why the Brewers are good, let's be faithful, they're good at identifying players and developing them. I mean, you look at their roster right now. I mean, Bryce Terang was a first-round pick. Sal Frelick was a first-round pick. Jackson Churio was an international signing. So like it is a lot of homegrown talent, but it is also a lot of like acquiring people. Like Contreras is from Atlanta. They traded for Yelich and then they extended him. Rhys Hoskins they signed. Like when was the last time the Pirates? Rhys Hoskins was a 2-year deal. He's having a really good year this year. Didn't have a great year last year, but he provides that power. The Pirates haven't signed a player like Rhys Hoskins ever.
Yeah, I don't recall a time.
Right? Like ever. They've never done that before. And in a team like the Brewers where, like, again, same restraints put on them from an organizational standpoint that the Pirates have, and they're able to do something like that.
But I think the thing to highlight, once again, and that goes back to not going on a tangent on ownership again, right? But you talk about the payroll, you talk about the attendance is what's reflective of the payroll so much. And, like, what has Ben Cherington done to give them a good product to then invest into? And we can talk all day long, but like what I'm worried about right now is because this team is so much worse than it was a year ago and 2 years ago. The attendance is falling. Is this payroll going to go down next year? Right? You know, and again, like if it does, yes, ultimately Bob Nutting's at fault, but who caused that problem? It's Ben Cherington. So you can talk about the GMs. This is why GMs do matter. It's not just ownership, but it doesn't matter, who it is, because everything you just talked about outside of Rhys Hoskins is just strictly GM stuff. That's nothing to do with the dollars.
I think
right?
Yelich probably has to do with dollars too.
Take away Yelich. You mentioned that too, the extension. But when you're talking about the draft development, all the guys in that lineup, that's the Henry Davises, that's the Nick Gonzalez's, that all the guys they drafted to develop, that's the Endies that came over the trade that just aren't working out, right? So all this stuff that he's done, the framework of this rebuild to get them to a point to say to ownership, can you give me a Rhys Hoskins? Sure. Let's invest because it's a good product. We're bringing in fans. So let's bring in more fans so we can keep multiplying, right? That's not what's happened here. The product is getting worse. How we want to, but theoretically, if you're Bob Nutting and Ben Cherington comes up and says, hey, can we invest in this club? No. I'm not wasting money. Ben Cherington's done nothing but waste Bob's money, the little that he's had. So, there's, again, it's not right, but there's that counter argument of I don't want to put money into this. Look at this team. It's started off for 15-32, right? Is this team worth investing into? Which comes down to is Ben Cherington worth keeping?
Now you're the one defending Bob
Nutting. No, I'm not. I am using, in a sense, but I'm using that to just show how bad Ben Cherington is. Ben Cherington's costing Bob Nutting money. That's how bad he is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a mess. The Pirates are a mess. From the top down, it's Bob Nutting clearly doesn't prioritize winning as the number one most important thing to him. And when you're a franchise built on your success is based on winning and losing, and your owner, that's not the most important thing, then that's not the most important thing for the person below him and then the person below him. So it's just a trickle down effect.
But another point I wanted to hit on too is also making the right moves, right time. I mean, think about this. What were we talking about with the Brewers last year? They're going to need to trade Corbin Burns probably, or are they going to hang on to him? Do they want to just say, screw this, hang on and go for it, or are they going to trade him and kind of retool? We thought last year, once they traded Corbin Burns, last year was a retool year. It might be 2 or 3 years. It's not going to be a complete rebuild, of course, right? Maybe two years they're back in it. They ended first place last year. He was able to trade their ace, the best player on their team, and still come into a first place division winner. That's what he does. That's what we're talking about. They were able to accomplish a smart market mentality, right? Trade one of your guys because you're not going to be able to pay him, recoup some value. And they recouped that value. Ortiz was amazing last year. They still stayed in first place. That doesn't happen here. When you trade Garrett Cole, what happens? You go downhill, right? When you trade Joe, that's, you weren't expecting that. So he was able to also sustain success while playing the small market game.
Getting a Joey Ortiz was big last year.
Yeah.
And they also, you got to imagine, they also had Adames last year too. They did lose him, but having Ortiz last year, again, the Pirates have Joey Ortiz is what we're talking about. We're not talking about somebody like Contreras now. We're talking about a third baseman turned shortstop. Ortiz isn't having a great year this year, but when have the Pirates ever acquired somebody who put up a 3-WAR season in his rookie year? That was right off the bat. Joey Ortiz comes up. He's our starting third baseman, and he's good. So you trade Corbin Burns, you lose a huge part of your team like that for Milwaukee, but you don't miss a beat. You go 92 wins in 2023 with Burns. Right. You get rid of your best player, and then you win 93 games the next year.
Yeah, and you can argue look, he's not having a good year this year. Look, the Brewers are in third place. I would die to be in third place.
I would kill people to be in third place right now.
All of you, you're on notice. But again, that, and that's, people want to attack that. Look down there, they're in third place. Ben Cherington's gotten to fourth place once. So again, not to really pile on so much in that sense, but it's a very interesting thought. Where would the Pirates be right now had they gone the Arnold route opposed to Ben Cherington?
Well, they would have won a World Series. Yeah, they would have won a World Series. That's what they would have done. No, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I mean, last 4 years, Brewers win totals 95, 86, 92, 93.
Yeah.
The Pirates have done that how many times in our life? Once.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah. And again, first place, second place, first place, first place. They were in fourth in 2020, the weird year, right? But and right now again, they're in third. And they still have the pieces they're in third. They could be seconds, right? They could maybe not first this year with the Cubs doing what they're doing, but they still have the talent to contend potentially for the playoffs.
Well, and I think and Mackie brings us up kind of to end the article is they decided to go with Ben Cherington who at the time, pretty good resume. I mean, he won a World Series in Boston. Toronto had built up a pretty good system. Like there was a reason why Ben Cherington got this job. But you look at, if you want to be like the Brewers and the Rays and the A's, even to an extent, you need to have people in your organization who have done that for teams like that. Like Ben Cherington, Red Sox, Blue Jays, those are two huge markets.
Right.
Where Matt Arnold made a whole lot more sense, is that like Matt Arnold knew what it took to win at a small market team with the constraints like the Pirates. And I think that we can all look back now and say Matt Arnold would have been the better choice. I don't know if it would have gone any different, but like Matt Arnold would have been the better choice.
Yeah, I feel confident it would have gone different. To what degree, right? Like probably not Brewers' success because again, the ownership constraints, right? But it certainly would be much different. I feel like at this point in time, whatever players he would have tried to acquire, the guys that he would have been able to develop, right? And the thing is too, like that was kind of like what you thought Ben's calling card was. I mean, that was the talk and the hype. Ben Cherington can draft and develop and build farm systems. I don't see it.
Hasn't worked out. Worked out. He gets credit for drafting Paul Skeens, and that's about it.
Yeah.
That's like the only positive I can take from this whole thing. He's built a good pitching staff.
So thank you for your time. Thank you for Paul Skeens. Who's next?
Yeah.
All right. So you want to talk about this upcoming series with the Reds, or do you want to do some Q&A?
The Diamondbacks. You mean? I'm sorry. Let's just hit on the Diamondback series a little bit. So Pirates flew out to the West Coast last night. They've got an 8-10 game tonight, and then they played late Tuesday and Wednesday. Ryan Nelson, Corbin Burns, and Zach Gallen on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Ryan Nelson not having the greatest season. I think he overperformed last year a little bit. He's taken a little bit of a step back, but I mean, still a capable back-end starter. But you look at the other two, Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen, you hope that the offense can kind of continue to at least keep scoring 5 runs like they have been, because those are two really, really good pitchers.
Maybe the altitude will help out a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. We'll see. But the Pirates, right now, it's Heaney, Burrows, Skeens. You don't know what's going to happen on Tuesday. I think I got to imagine they give Burrows some starts here. Like, I don't think you just call Burrows up for one start. And he looked okay. Like, I think he looked deserving of starting again. So I'm curious on, like, Braxton Ashcraft is going to join the team in Arizona. I don't know in what capacity, but if Ashcraft gets to start, maybe that's the case. Maybe they have played a lot of games in a row here without an off day, so maybe they want to give Skeens an extra day, and then with the off day on Wednesday, like they kind of like give Skeens an extra rest day. I don't know if you want to push Skeens back, but I could see them doing something like that. Maybe giving Ashcraft a spot start somewhere in this series.
Maybe, I guess, yeah. Again, like I don't know what the plan is for Ashcraft. I guess just wait and see, and when we find out, we'll talk about it. But I mean, again, though, like he is an interesting pitcher by all means. I mean, he has tons of talent, but he hasn't been able to really put it all together because of health for the most part. And like you mentioned, this year starting off, he hasn't really been succeeding to the level of others like Mike Burrows. I think Burrows pitched fantastic in AAA, and for making his first start, it was fine, right? I mean, I don't think I was disappointed. This is also a team that has allowed Carmen Murzinski to make how many starts. So, like, if you can give him some leash to keep going, I think you can give Mike Burrows some leash. He's kind of proven himself to be afforded that opportunity. So, yeah, again, with Ashcraft being here, it's kind of interesting because I don't know to play with that. But if he does make a spot start or however he debuts or whatnot, I'm also interested to see how he does. He's talented for sure.
I've been clamoring. I mean, I was calling for Braxton Ashcraft to be promoted last year. Yeah, so I'm excited.
Right into the bullpen, help this team out.
I'm excited to see Braxton Ashcraft. The stuff's amazing. He's deserving of this shot, and it's nice to. I mean, he's been hurt so much throughout his minor league career, but the talent's clearly there. I mean, he's up there with. I mean, everybody loves his upside. So yes. We'll see. We'll hopefully see him this series in some capacity. The Diamondbacks, though, they started off super hot. Come 5 losses in a row right now. They lost 2 or 3 to the Dodgers, and they got swept by the Cardinals coming into this. So maybe they're cooling off a little bit, and you can take advantage of that. But yeah, it's gonna be tough because this lineup too that the Diamondbacks have, it's good. They got some good players. I mean, they actually went out there and spent some money. They went to the World Series 2 years ago. They spent some money to kind of go back. Corbin Carroll is just having an insane season, which he had the Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. Last year wasn't as good, but he was still a pretty good player. But this year he's kind of back to that Rookie of the Year status that he was at. He's just having a monster year. Josh Naylor, who was a guy that a lot of Pirates fans wanted Ben to trade for this offseason. Instead of coming to the Pirates, he went to Arizona. He's having a really good year. Eugenio Suarez is crushing the ball. Perdomo having a great year too for shortstop. So like this lineup for Arizona, they're a tough team. It's gonna be a tough team, but luckily the Pirates do have a pretty good pitching staff. So hopefully it's gonna be two strengths against each other.
Yep. And once again, pretty similar as far as market size and everything to the Pirates. We've talked about as far as.
Well, I mean, Phoenix is definitely bigger than Pittsburgh, but
their revenue is compared to the Pirates, what you imagine to be. And they're able to do a lot of the things as well. And again, this is a team that had to give up Paul Goldschmidt, had to move on from pieces, and here they are. And they go out and get a Corbin Burns. We thought we could get away from Corbin Burns. Now we're playing him this series now with the Diamondbacks, and he's having a fantastic year. This is going to be about pitching for sure. And hey, a little homecoming for Strong.
Brent Strom was fired by the Diamondbacks, so yeah, that's true.
So maybe he can come out on top and say, "Hey, you guys messed up. Our pitching was better."
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I mean, Heaney's had a really good year, so I mean, hopefully he just keeps that going. But want to see Burrows again. Wouldn't mind seeing Ashcraft start. If they want to go ahead and pitch Paul Skeens again, though, on 4 days rest, I'm cool with that. Obviously.
I would rather see Paul Skeens than Braxton Ashcraft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This would be back-to-back starts on 4 days rest for Skeens. I don't know if that's ever happened with him. So I'm not sure. I kind of feel like that's
probably not, though. Honestly,
I feel like that's why Ashcraft is up. I think Ashcraft's going to start Wednesday. Okay. I'm calling it right
now. All right. So are you going to have any predictions here?
Braxton Ashcraft no hitter. His major league debut on Wednesday. No. I think the Pirates take 1 of 3. The Pirates take 1 of 3 in Arizona. Good pitching for the most part, but I mean, I feel like I will say this: Oneil Cruz owns Corbin Burns from his time in Milwaukee,
and he's hot.
So the Pirates will win the Corbin Burns start. They're going to lose.
That's so.
They're going to lose the Ryan Nelson start. Right. That's how it's going to work. And then if Skeens starts Wednesday, they'll win. If Ashcraft starts Wednesday, they'll lose, but it'll be a low-scoring game.
Does Kutch get hit by a pitch?
No.
Hot take. All right. No, I'm going 1 of 3. I think that's pretty much how you can look at every series the Pirates play in for the most part. But no, 1 of 3, I should say. 1 and 2 they go. Pitching's tough. The offense, I know it's come alive a little bit, but it's still the Pirates' offense. But I'm interested in the series. Let's see how this goes. Donnie Ball's still happening. They've been playing better. I'll say that.
They have been. I mean, it wasn't difficult to play better than what they were.
It doesn't matter.
They're
playing better.
Been worse. So they have been playing better under Don Kelly.
That's right. They're just bad now.
They're just bad. They're not atrocious. They're bad.
They're just bad.
Yeah.
Improvements, baby steps.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we want to do a Q&A? We got a few people here. I really had no idea how many people were going to come here today. I was like, there could be 2 people here. There could be 10 people here. I have no idea. It's a Monday. It's Memorial Day.
It's Monday. 8
I don't know who's going to get here. But yeah, for everyone out in the audience, do you have any questions about the Pirates? There's a microphone sitting right there if anybody's got a question or a comment. Microphone, please.
For those that haven't had your coffee yet, downstairs.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're here, coffee downstairs. But yeah, there you go.
If you could bring up some position players from the minors, who would they?
Well, Nick Gonzalez is still on the IL. I think he's coming. Theoretically, he's in the minors, but I think you're alluding more to like a promotion. Nick Gonzalez coming back up. ICAF makes it a little harder. But like, to me, Nick Yorke, like, get him up here. Get Nick Yorke up here. That's my first. I could say Billy Cook too, and I think it's more of a need for Billy Cook than Yorke, if that makes sense, with Gonzalez coming up. Billy Cook isn't really having the great year in AAA right now to say, like, hey, come up, you'll be part of the solution. He's better than Tommy Pham, I think, so, like, he'll help there. But I don't know. He's 27 years old too, like, but I think Nick Yorke's, he's been playing a little bit better. He's the better prospect. He's part of your future, where Billy Cook's probably just a guy that might be part of the future, helping out like a platoon role or something. The thing is, I think the biggest thing is there's not much. It's not like there's a strong person that needs to come up here and help them. It's part of the problem.
Yeah, you look at the AAA roster and the two interesting guys down there. If you want to lump Figueroa in there, you can, but
not really.
Nick Yorke, Billy Cook, Leo Figueroa. Those are your three like real prospects that are down there, and I wouldn't even really count Billy Cook as a prospect anymore. He's like 27 years old.
Right.
I don't know if I'd call any of them. I'd like none of them are deserving of a call up right now. Nick Yorke's been a little bit better in May, but like Nick Yorke he's not pounding the door. Like, I mean, if you are a below average AAA hitter, it's not a good sign that you're going to be a good major league hitter.
Right.
So there's no reason to call up Nick Yorke other than if you're just like, season's over, let's just see what we have. Cool. But he hasn't shown that he's ready. I mean, I also don't want to bring up guys and just see them fail. And if Nick Yorke is currently failing in AAA, I don't need him to fail in the majors. So, like, if I'm calling someone up from AAA right now, I mean, Nick Gonzalez is down there on rehab. He's eligible to come off the IL tomorrow. Hopefully he's ready. He did get hit in the hand with a pitch last Sunday, so he was a little bit limited this past week. I know he played yesterday. So, like, as soon as Nick Gonzalez is ready, you'd love to see him come up, because I do think that could actually provide a little bit of help into this lineup. He was at least a below average hitter last year, which is way better than half of the Pirates. So if you can bring Nick Gonzalez and bring him back in, that's my choice. Yeah, Nick Yorke, I'm going to say no. Like, Nick Yorke still has to show me that he can hit AAA pitching before he gets called up to the majors, because I don't think it does anybody any good to call up a prospect before they have shown that they're deserving of it.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And I think that's why, too, a lot of times where, we hear people talking, like, throw them out there and see what they can do in the majors. And right, we go back to that. Well, if they're not doing it in the minors, probably not going to do it in the majors, right? And we talk about the gap, too, from AAA to major leagues, like how large that gap is now. It's only gotten bigger, like, I feel like, each year in the past 5 years. Again, yes, Nick Gonzalez. If there's one other guy, like, it has to be Nick Yorke, and that's what I'm alluding to. Like, it's not like he's doing great. Billy Cook even worse. Nick Yorke since May is batting .310, but absolutely no power. He's not walking. I do believe in his talent. Like, I will say that. He's shown enough with Boston, and then last year, like, coming over, like, he did quite well. Right now, this year to start off, it's certainly been a struggle. It's gotten better, like you mentioned. But again, I think it alludes to what the problem is. Like, they're just not developed talent that you say, like, hey, bring that person up because they're going to help. They're probably going to help because there's so many pathetic players on the team that they might have a better chance of outperforming, like a Tommy Pham. But does that really help the future that, hey, you know what, they're a little bit better play in 2025, that they might win 70 games instead of 69? Or is it like, hey, let's make sure this guy's ready so that way in 2026, like, he's ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, I think like Matt Gorski was deserving of his call up when they called him up. He was hitting the ball well. No one was hitting the ball up here. But, like, when you called up Gorski, you kind of saw why he was down there. He has the power. He hit the occasional home run, which no one on this team does. But he also struck out a ton. So, yeah, it's just that's the problem right now, is there's really no one in AAA there to help you. Like, there's like no one there is going to help very much, I don't think. If you go down a level to AA, Termar Johnson's having a good start to the season in Altoona. But there's also no reason to rush Termar Johnson. He's 20 years old. I think I think he turns 21 this month or something. But no reason to rush him. Let him fully develop and make sure that he's ready to go. Yeah, right now, offensively, like they're just gonna have to get better with the people that they have. I think that's why I was wanting to call up Solak, because it was like at least he was hitting the ball, and I get he's not a prospect, but like he was crushing the ball in AAA, and they called him up, and then they haven't played him. He hasn't played in a week. What's up with that?
Because he's not that
unbelievable.
Good. But also again, like you don't worry about this is going back to the pitcher side, right? Like you don't really worry about Nick Solak's development. You don't really worry about Dorsey's development. Like here's what they can do.
You're not worried about Nick Solak's development.
He's developed, sir. He's developed into a poor baseball player. But that's what Louisville
we don't
does.
know. We don't know.
Louisville produces poor baseball players.
Tell that to Will Smith.
But I'm just saying it's Henry Davis locker room, not Will Smith. We see what's happened to Henry Davis so far.
It's true.
But anyways, yeah. That's kind of part of the problem. That's where we're at. So
to answer your question,
nobody.
Anybody else got
any other questions?
We got Adam.
No. And to expand upon that, I just think the hitting leadoff is perfect for Oneil Cruz. The downside is, there's more solo shots, right? But at the same sense, like he is performing his best, I think, in that, and he's becomes a catalyst. Whereas in a home run, he gets on base, he's walking a lot more, right? So I think you're getting the best version of Oneil Cruz at the leadoff role. And again, when he gets on first, he takes second. So that's helping other guys out. So, I mean, he's just such a catalyst. The downfall is his home runs a lot of times end up being solo shots. But if your argument is you want to go in the 4-hole to not have solo shots, I think he's still hitting a lot of solo shots because we see what 2 and 3 is also doing for the most part. So, I think keep him there.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. A lot of the reasons why the home runs total is skewed like that is because a lot of his home runs have been leadoff home runs. So when you're batting leadoff, there's no one on base, obviously, for you. The leadoff batter is going to come up to bat with no one on base the most out of anybody on your team, which does stink in Oneil Cruz's case because he's the guy who's going to be the one who's producing the most offense. But I think it's just a perfect fit for him, and it has to do with really just how you're pitched. A lot of times, like those leadoff home runs, they're coming to you because a pitcher wants to get ahead early in the count. They want to throw a first pitch strike of the game. They want to be efficient that first inning. They're not throwing the kitchen sink at the first batter that they see. So they're really they're going fastball and they're throwing a strike a lot of times. And he's just jumping on those pitches and he's making them pay. And I think you saw. He's gotten a lot better this year at pitch recognition, where he's laying off the breaking balls out of the zone. But when you move him down in the order to a spot where there's maybe higher leverage situations more often, you're going to get more of those pitches. But when you're batting third and you're batting fourth, you're going to see a lot more breaking balls. You're going to see pitchers be just more careful with you in general, which gives you less stuff to hit. It's going to allow you to, it's not going to allow you to produce as much. Now, in a perfect world, Oneil Cruz, is probably batting second or third, but in this offense, I think number one. I think first, it fits him well. And you look at his career numbers; he's got a 128 weighted runs created plus batting first. You move him in the 4th spot, career weighted runs created plus of 99. So he's basically been an average hitter out of the cleanup spot for his career, and he's been a really good hitter out of the leadoff spot. So I think you leave him there just because he's obviously shown he's comfortable there. He's stealing a ton of bases. He's hitting the ball. He's setting up the guys behind him. The thing is that the guys behind him need to do something. Like Brian Reynolds in particular needs to hit better. Now that you've got Horwitz in the lineup, I think that's going to help quite a bit as well. It gives you a little bit more length. Like Andrew McCutchen's having kind of what you expected him to do this year, but you need Reynolds to start producing. You need Horwitz to come through like he has been so far. But I don't move him down just simply because I think he would be pitched completely differently in a different spot in the lineup. And right now he's getting pitched in a way that he's making them pay.
I just go to fall back to the Miami series, like when they started off, right? They weren't pitching them because there's no need to. Then it comes down to roster construction, right? Like when you're batting fourth, who's now behind him? You're not fearful of anyone, so you just put them on base. Yeah, how many times did he walk in the Miami series because they just weren't gonna throw competitive pitches? So you're probably getting less home runs in that spot because of, like you mentioned, how he's being pitched. So I'm absolutely keeping him for this year at least. He's my leadoff hitter all year long. Any other questions, comments? All right, Timothy, we out of here.
I guess we can roll out. Thanks to everybody who came out. Like I said, it was a fun weekend. If you came into town for the tailgate, like shout out. That was awesome. Hopefully we can do another one this year. That'll be fun.
That was the plan. I also planned on being a little bit better.
Plan. Yeah, the plan was like, hey, let's do an early one, and then
for the playoff push.
For the playoff push, we'll do another tailgate.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a playoff push.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a tailgate if they fire Ben Cherington mid-season. We'll throw like a party tailgate.
That's so evil, and I love it. But no, bro. Thanks for everyone for coming, attending, watching. I'll be back again tonight for the post-game show and all week. So we'll see you guys then. Jim?
Oh yeah. I guess I've got to end the stream here. Yeah. See you guys.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.